How can small wins help you bounce back after setbacks, especially when it feels out of reach?
In this episode, we asked each other, "Hey, what do we hope to accomplish with this episode?"
Yeah.
Right? And for me, I really hope to be able to encourage you, the listener, the viewer, to understand that everything that you want requires you to just change your habits.
Mhm.
If you want to change who you are in life, then your habits have to change,
Gotcha.
right? Because at the root of everything that we do, the root of how we behave, who we are, our personalities and things like that,
Mhm.
it's a bunch of habits, right?
Gotcha. Yep.
And I think that this is a perfect timing, at least for me, to be able to have this conversation because I'm also rereading back Atomic Habits, which is one of my
Mhm.
favorite books. If you haven't read it yet, it's really recommended by James Clear. Get the audiobook or get the actual book. One of the best selling books because he does such a really good job at being able to just break down how simplicity really is it really wins. If you're able to break down things to just habits, you're able to really put yourself in a winning situation. So
Gotcha.
um for me, I think it begins with that. Whenever things, uh, every single day, I want to give myself good ways to be, or every single day, I want to give myself the best opportunity that I can at winning the day. And the way that I can do that every day is by making sure that I have good little habits that I have throughout the day
Mhm.
and celebrate those days. And I kid you not, bro. I mean this, and I want to back this up with just something very personal. I apologize for pulling out my phone here, but I got an email from my son's in seventh grade, and I
Mhm.
got an email from his teacher three weeks ago that
Mhm.
he's, kind of acting up in class, da 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 da,
Yeah.
just, nothing too bad, but hey, I need to let you know about this, right?
Absolutely.
Let the teacher know, hey, we'll talk to him about it. We'll make sure this is corrected, all
Mhm.
these other things. Today, I get a random email from the same teacher. I want to let you know that Jomar Jr. had a really positive week in science class last week. I did not have to correct his behavior a single time. He completed all of his assignments and he was very respectful during class. And I took a screenshot of that and I said, hey, buddy, I love seeing this. I just quickly sent that to him when we got here. I told
Yeah.
you he
Yeah.
was texting
Absolutely.
me
Yeah.
back. And he said, yeah, he told me that I did good and thank you. And I said, great work, man. I'm going to wipe your debt. He owes me $25 because
Oh.
the other day he wanted some money for a game. And I said, no, you got to pay me for this one,
Yeah.
right? Build a little
Yeah.
character.
Absolutely. Yeah. Character development.
But I said, I'm going to wipe your debt because we got to celebrate good things too. You don't owe me $25. And of course, in a 12-year-old's voice, or he said, yeah.
Good job, Jomar Jr. I'm
Yeah.
extremely happy for you, buddy.
But that's the it's we have to celebrate these little
Absolutely.
things, right? Because I was quick to get on to him,
Yes.
but also he has to feel like when he does good, he's also rewarded as
Yeah.
well, and he has to see that. I can't gloss over that, which in the past I have.
Yeah.
In the past, like you gloss over them doing
Mhm.
really good things,
Yeah.
because you expect it or
Yeah. You're
whatnot.
supposed to do that. All that good stuff.
Absolutely, absolutely. So I think in changing your habits, and we'll dive way more into that throughout the episode. So for me, that's kind of
Mhm.
my way of being able to look at this. It's like, how can I tie in, whenever something good does happen, which is all the time,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
Like right now, something good that's happening is simply just that we're breathing.
Yeah, man. We're here.
Like
We're
we're
here.
literally
Yeah.
here, we're
Yeah.
breathing. Our families are good, or
Yes.
those are things to like celebrate at all
Absolutely.
time, and they sound so silly
Mm.
whenever you're not celebrating
Mm.
them, but if you were lacking oxygen,
Mhm.
all of a sudden breathing is something to
Yes. Yes. Like,
celebrate.
man, when am I gonna get the next breath? Yes, absolutely.
Absolutely, absolutely. And so in training yourself and being able, and this kind of ties in with being grateful and having gratitude and things like that, but in changing those small habits and being able to just take a small step back whenever something good happens or you do something good or something favors you or whatever it may be, of just being able to acknowledge that moment.
Yeah.
You know, sometimes I get payments. I manage Airbnb. Sometimes I
Mm.
get payments that, for my property management fee that are $1,000,
Mhm.
$1,500 in a week or something like that. Like
Yeah,
I'll
yeah.
get an email from Airbnb.
Yeah.
We've just sent you a X amount of payment.
Absolutely.
And sometimes I get some that are just like $25.
Yeah.
And that was my email for the whole day.
Yeah.
But every time I see them, I look and I say, I'm grateful for this. even though it's a business that I'm getting myself out of and things like that, you know what I
Yeah,
mean,
yeah.
for other reasons, but I'm grateful.
But appreciating what's happening.
Absolutely,
Yes.
because $25 beats $0
Absolutely.
every day of the week.
Yes.
And there were a lot of days in my life where it would have been really nice
Mhm.
to get an email
Yes.
that $25
Hey,
are coming.
$25 just pop up in your account. You're good to go. Yeah, I mean, it's really nice. I think we get out of the area of, celebrating the monotonous because it's a given
Mhm.
in our heads. Like, we're supposed to have that.
Right.
I'm supposed to, yeah, I know I'm supposed to be thankful for the roof over my head, but, like, let's be real here. That can change. You know what I mean? Like, that can change in a heartbeat. It's not until,
Hurricanes.
yeah, you know what I mean? Tornado comes overnight if you're in the Midwest, you know what I mean? Earthquakes, if you're on the West Coast. Like,
Mhm.
there's things that can just happen that can shift your perspective in an instant.
Mhm.
And people don't really, like you said, don't realize what's going on until they lose it
Yep.
or it's at risk. And when we look past the monotonous things and stop being as happy for them, then you start to become, in a sense, like, well, what am I supposed to have? Or what am I supposed to be grateful? All these things are supposed to happen. And like, no, they don't have to work like that.
Yeah,
They really do not. So
absolutely.
it is nice to celebrate those things. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
And I'm very happy that, Joe Mar Jr. was very humble. One, he obviously learned a great lesson when you spoke with him. And, is really implementing that moving forward. Because I
Mhm.
don't think, at least from, my interactions with him and then just with this conversation, that he's doing things just to get in your good graces, because that's not a guarantee.
Yep.
But it also shows that, hey, I'm going to be a good person because I know, based on what my dad has taught me, that good things happen to good people, and sometimes good people make mistakes.
Oh, we all every day.
You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah,
we say, I think we both agree with our kids that it's not about progress, or it's not about perfection, it's about progress.
absolutely.
I don't expect you to be the smartest kid in the class. Was
Mhm.
I the smartest kid in school? No, by no stretch of the imagination was I. But, I had a good heart and I tried my best when I wanted to try my best. When I wanted to try my best.
We're
Some
gonna we're
days
gonna clip this out so the kids don't. I'm just kidding.
some days C's get degrees, right? And then
No, 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 no.
no, no, like, try your best. Try your best. If I can look back, I would have worked harder. I would have worked harder. When I tell you, I had Yana will tell you this. Like, my senior year was not great because I didn't, like, focus it at all. But, like, I had to, like, lock in and just spend all this work. But then I was just grateful for the day that I was caught up. And
Mhm.
then not thinking that, hey, you could have just got all this stuff done, freshman year, sophomore year, junior year, then you wouldn't spend your senior year stressing.
Yep.
So then I was just thankful to be caught up and on the same playing field as everyone else when they were already thinking about, oh, I'm not getting this or this isn't happening. Like, wait, be happy that you're graduated, man, because that's a sobering feeling if that doesn't happen.
Mhm.
So that ties into the same thing, is that I was just happy to be on a even playing field, instead of just being like, well, I didn't graduate valedictorian. You know what? That would have been great, but I'm just glad that I was able to walk across the stage. So just those small, small things that people do take advantage of. And yes, there are some celebratory areas in it, but it is very nice to just say, hey, I'm just happy that, I woke up this morning,
Yeah.
kids are healthy, family's doing good, my car is running, you know what I mean? Like, just little things, everything that could have went wrong one way. I mean, your tire could have blown out, this morning.
Yeah, bro, and it's like, and of course, there's a fine line between being content
Yeah.
and being and celebrating the small victories. We're
Mhm.
not saying, hey, go down to this level where you just
Yeah, yeah.
but and even if you do, at least be grateful. Still be
Yeah.
grateful,
We
because at least being in that feeling, like, we don't all have to have all these amazing things, right?
yeah, yeah.
But what I feel like. And I completely agree with what you're saying, man. I feel like we get to a point where we aren't grateful enough, and we don't celebrate enough of the good things that happen to us, that we get to a place where we just we don't have any kind of appreciation for anything,
Yeah.
right? And
Yeah.
so we spend a dubious amount of money on things that we think are going to bring us happiness, and we'll buy them and then not be grateful for them, right?
Yeah.
We'll buy the big people buy the big house, they buy the nice cars, they buy the all of this stuff, but if you don't have, if it's not rooted in you appreciating how blessed you are to
Yeah.
be able to do. And by blessed, I don't mean like expensive things.
Mhm.
By blessed, I mean, man, I have my knee hurts today, right?
Mhm.
But I have a functioning knee.
Yeah.
So I'm able to just turn that, like,
Yeah.
it's not feeling 100%,
Mhm.
but it's also I don't have an amputated leg. You
Exactly.
know
Yeah,
what I
yeah, yeah, I mean, at
mean?
least you can walk, you
I
know what I
can
mean?
walk. I
Yeah.
can walk. You
Mhm.
know, if my knee's hurting, it's because it's giving me feedback. It's saying
Yeah,
something is wrong.
something's going on.
Let's get this checked,
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
So then after if I gotta go to the doctor, well, I'm grateful that I get to go to the doctor.
exactly.
You know, and we move that on and we keep and we stack those wins,
Mhm.
right? You know, it's like a sport.
Yeah.
The more wins that you stack, the better your chances are to win your division, the
Mhm.
better your chances are to win the playoffs, to win
Mhm.
the championship, to land better players, to sell more tickets,
Mhm.
all of these other things, right? So completely agree with you, bro. What why do you think the small victories hold so much power?
I mean, because they're the makeup of what makes people champions, right? When you
Ooh,
get
I
to
love that.
a
They're the
high
makeup of
level.
what makes people champions.
Exactly.
Okay.
So when you get to a high level of sports, let's just take on sports, right? You got two very good boxers or two very good, single sports athletes, right? So let's
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 go
stay
with
with boxing.
golf.
Let's go with golf, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, like,
If you're in Orlando and want to play golf, hit me up.
hit them up. I'll be there, but like I'll be there. I'll be
he'll,
there.
he'll come with a camera or
I'll come with a
something.
camera or something. We'll get some
I
good. We'll
gotta
get some
get
good
him into
shots.
golf. Let me put down in the comments. Tell this man to get does we have guys, and I'm
Yeah,
sorry to
yeah. No, no,
interrupt
you're
your
good. You're
thought,
good.
bro.
Go ahead. Go
And
ahead.
don't
Go ahead.
forget it. Don't
No, I'm
forget it.
good. I'm good.
We have a golf course with a
Yes.
driving range in our neighborhood. He has golf clubs. I have golf clubs. I play golf all the time.
I don't know. I don't have an excuse. I don't have an
No, let's
excuse.
talk about it. Is it
Yeah.
fear? If you're the kind of person that loves to hear just good vibes every single day, then I recommend you subscribe to our channel.
Yeah. I mean, what else are you doing? You know what I mean? Like you're already here.
Just hit that little button,
Just
guys.
hit the button. Hit the button. Hit the bell. I'm new to this, so like I'm trying to figure it out.
Ah,
Hit the button. Hit the bell. Jump in the comments. We're gonna be here anyway, so why not?
hit the little bell for notifications
Bing
so you'll get
bang.
notified every single time a new video comes out.
Today's a great day.
Today's a great day to subscribe to Today's a Great Day.
Thank you
Let's
guys.
get back to the action.
You know what? I think part of it could be right
Okay?
because like there's something
In the comments, guys.
in the comments. How many people are left-handed? Because I think this is a left-handed problem, right?
Oh, here we go. You and Ken have the same little problem.
So okay, so Ken's left-handed.
Yeah.
Okay, so there's like a balance and follow-through issue with and maybe it's just me because I'm
You
unsure.
guys are quirky as heck. Like
Yeah, you know what I
left-handed
mean.
people, y'all are
It's
quirky.
it's weird. There's the flow doesn't feel like when I see you play, right? Because like this is on the TikTok story,
Uh-huh.
So make sure you guys are following us on TikTok if you're not.
Today's a Great Day podcast.
There
Yeah.
we go. And it's just a follow through that I don't have. Like it's like right as I get to like the halfway point, my
Yeah.
body feels like it freezes.
But do you think it's just like
It's a little bit.
we gotta practice,
We gotta
man?
practice.
All
You know
right.
what? We got time.
We got
And we're
time.
going to the cooler months. I sweat a lot. So like the
I
cooler
sweat a
months are
lot
good.
too. My hands don't stop sweating. They're
Yeah.
look at this.
Yeah.
So
So
that's why I wear two gloves. And
gotcha.
I'm probably the only golfer that you'll see it once a year. You see
Yeah,
a
yeah.
golfer with two gloves. I'm one of them. Because if
Gotcha.
not, somebody's window is getting hit by a golf club.
But yeah, so no, I think it might be a little bit. I mean, I'm into it though. Like I
All right.
want to do it.
You know what I mean?
So
So
we're gonna figure out. We're gonna
Dearest
figure it out.
Woods is loading.
Yes, yes.
Actually, you know Tiger Woods' son played here the other day?
Did he?
Charlie? Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, they had a tournament like 2 weeks ago. I'll
Wow.
show you a video when we get done. Yeah.
Gotcha. Because this was like where we're at right now. This was like built by like a famous golfer, right? Or was at least the golf course?
The guy that designed the golf course
Okay,
was some
gotcha.
famous guy. Well, I
Gotcha.
can't remember his name.
Yeah.
But anyway,
Yeah.
glad that I got you so off topic.
No, you're good. It's all there.
So
It's all there.
you okay? Because I would have forgot.
So we'll stick with golf, right? So you have two amazing golfers.
Okay.
They're perfect, right? There's no noticeable holes in their game.
Mhm.
Where does the other one become better? They edge out. So little small pieces. You know what I mean? Maybe this person isn't paying attention, to the wind. And this is coming from a non-golfer. So excuse me if those
I'll help you
analogies
out with
aren't
some
right.
things.
Right.
Maybe
So
this person's better at chipping or putting or driving or
exactly
whatever.
right. So let's just say they can say, hey, if I really focus on this specific task right here,
Mhm.
this is where I have the chance to edge them out. That very small margin.
Mhm.
So they're taking that and they're going to use that to their advantage.
Right.
You know what I mean? And we attribute this to life, right? So if we're not celebrating the small wins and we're becoming very ungrateful in certain senses, then you start to miss out on the big pieces or the big opportunities that come from you looking over those small wins. I'm happy just to be here, right? Us recording this
This is
episode.
so dope.
You know what I mean? But think about where we said where we would like this episode to go and where we would like this platform to go.
Mhm.
That doesn't happen if we don't show up on our filming days. That doesn't happen if we say, hey, instead of doing, over an hour, we'll do 20 minutes today because we got some stuff to do.
Right.
So it's those little small pieces that you never know because if you're not looking for them, you don't see them, but they'll edge everything out in a sense. You know what I mean? So that's where the good people become great and
Mm-hmm.
then legendary because they focus on the small pieces and also celebrate the small wins.
Yep.
If I can hit a little bit better than I hit yesterday, even if it means like, hey, I did great on this hole that I didn't do great last week,
Mm-hmm.
but you kind of had a average game. You still did great in that one section. You should be happy with that win.
Absolutely.
So that
100%.
that that is my aspect that I see it with. What about you? What do you think? Why do you think that celebrating the small wins are so crucial?
Man, and I'll take it back to golf.
Okay.
As an athlete, I like golf for the obvious
Mhm.
reasons. As a former athlete, I'm not very athletic anymore.
Anything's possible.
Back in my day, I used
Polk high.
fun fact, I was second team all state in Florida as a quarterback in my senior year.
In Florida. That's
Yeah,
tough.
yeah.
That's tough.
1A school.
Hey, somebody's got to do it, right? Somebody's got to do it. It's all right.
It wasn't like St. Thomas Aquinas
Yeah,
and
yeah, yeah.
Pensacola Catholic and all
Gotcha.
this
Yeah,
stuff, but all
yeah,
right.
yeah.
But mentally,
Mhm,
as a person, I love golf because of the mental challenge
mhm,
that every single round brings to you,
mhm,
and it is always different, right? Because you look at a golf course and let's say here we have 18 holes, right? They're always the exact same 18 holes.
mhm.
The ground doesn't change. They're not making
Yeah,
the
they're
only
not
thing
moving
that's
things around.
changing in golf is the height of the grass.
Mhm,
Did they cut it today? Did they
yeah.
cut it 2 days ago?
Uh,
The tee boxes,
mhm,
so you can be the hole could be 150 yards
mhm.
or it could be 160 yards depending on where they have tee
The
boxes.
class difference.
Yeah, that's usually not that big of a difference. But I won't get into all the
Oh no,
fine
you're good.
details.
You're
But
good.
then the other thing that changes is the placement of the flag on or the hole on the green,
Mhm,
right? So you can have this hole with angles and stuff like that. Today the hole might be in the front, the middle, or the back. It's
mhm.
always front, middle, back, and then they
Gotcha.
move it side to side,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
right? But it is always a different game every time you play the course. Because, for example, when we left this morning, my sister and I to go to our team meeting, I told her, I said, today would be a perfect day for golf
Mm,
because it was overcast,
yeah.
no wind,
Mm.
overcast with no wind. That means the sun wasn't blazing on
Yeah, it's
us.
very nice this morning.
Yeah, no wind was blowing.
Mm,
The temperature, the air was nice. It was a little warm, but not too warm, which helps the ball carry a little further.
yeah.
All these other details. But every time you go and play that golf course, it plays different. The people that played it this morning are playing it way different than the people that are playing it this afternoon
See.
with a breeze, with
Yeah.
all these different factors that have tied in. So it forces you every single time you go to play to have to be strong mentally.
Mhm,
The best golfers and what you're talking about, and that it actually is tied to the game of golf, the best golfers aren't just necessarily the most athletic or capable ones.
mhm. Mental.
It's the mental.
Yeah.
It's the mental battle.
Mhm,
You know what I mean? When you look at Tiger Woods and then you watch Kobe Bryant and you
mhm.
watch Michael Jordan, you see that dog mentality that's in them.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
They're always looking for that competitive edge.
Absolutely,
Yeah.
absolutely. So that's the mental aspect that I love about golf. And sorry for going off on that
No, no,
tangent
you're
there,
good.
but
You're good.
why small victories are so important? It's
Mm,
because of the momentum that you can build,
yeah.
right? So if I wake up in the morning and in the morning I say to myself, as soon as I wake up, all
Mhm,
right, it's time to open my eyes. Doesn't matter how comfortable I feel right now,
mm,
which I'm gonna tell you guys this is a battle that I go through
yeah.
because I'm not a naturally morning person per
Yeah,
se.
yeah.
I'm more so of a night owl kind of
Mm,
person. Not crazy, like
yeah.
11, 12 o'clock at night, but
Yeah, yeah.
I like to sleep until like 7:30, 8 o'clock in the morning. I
Gotcha.
don't like to be up at like 6 a.m. I will, but I don't like it.
Yeah, yeah, it's not
Um, but in the morning, so if I tell myself, hey, I'm gonna get up, I'm gonna brush my teeth, I'm gonna meditate, I'm gonna go outside for a walk, or I'm gonna read a book, or whatever it is, and I do these little actions, even though sometimes I don't feel like absolutely doing them, but when
mm,
I do them, it's just something about, oh man, I just read a few pages of my book. I'm
yeah.
good. All
Mhm,
right. Let me meditate. Boom, knock out a meditation. Oh man, that was great.
yeah.
And now this little bit of momentum that I'm building for my day
Mhm,
starts to just kind of snowball. And I really wish that people could see from a firsthand point of view how building good momentum really, like, if you haven't experienced it, or you have, you just haven't been aware of it or conscious of it, if your answer is no, but the the way that things start to just line up for you, the way that you're able to handle things better throughout the day, the way that all of a sudden you're celebrating these small wins, and then all of a sudden you get a massive win,
Mhm.
a new a new contract or new job opportunity, or what, or
Yeah,
whatever,
you see things.
your cousin beat cancer, whatever it may be. Like, these things start to just steamroll.
Mhm.
And then once you build really good momentum on a day-to-day basis, on a week-to-week basis, that starts to show up everywhere else in your life.
Yes.
So I think that those small wins are so incredibly important because of the amount of momentum
Mm.
that gets you going, and then it makes life easier. It makes it much easier to be grateful for those things. We're not just fluffing you up when we say to you that we are grateful for the opportunity to sit down here and have these conversations. We're grateful for being healthy. We're grateful for we're not fluffing up. And we're also, we had a funny comment earlier. We what was the video about that one in particular,
I
about
believe it was
gratitude?
Gratitude. I believe it was
Yeah,
episode 2,
yeah,
and yeah, yeah.
yeah. It was a small clip of I was me, but was it me or you? Me. So in this video, I said something along the lines of, having gratitude for pretty much what I'm saying right
Mhm.
now. The video was about gratitude, and somebody commented on there and said, "Rich people will always tell you to be grateful."
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
We're not rich
No, no, but
financially.
yeah,
We do okay,
yeah, yeah,
but we're not rich
yeah.
by any means of the imagination financially.
Mhm.
But in life,
No, man. Bill Gates who?
rich as fudge.
Yes, yeah,
Rich as fudge.
yes.
Because we value
Mhm.
all of the small little things. We value those things.
Absolutely. And with that, that actually is a very good tipping point. When you see the why, right? Because everyone's going to be the following question of am I celebrating small wins?
Hmm.
Why? Because then once you celebrate those small wins, you celebrate yourself, you celebrate the people around you. That energy translates to things that people see from you. That energy people get. Now they may look at us and say, "Oh, well, these guys are rich, or these guys are, super well off. That's why they're sitting here comfortable and happy." No, we're here because we were able to get through the fire,
Hmm.
get through the stresses, get through the worries, and then still see good in the world. And once we got to the point where we wanted to go, we continue to push forward.
Yep.
So that energy translates.
Yep.
When you believe in yourself, you celebrate yourself, you're happy with who you are, or you're on the path
Hmm.
to really discover who you are, and you're happy with being in that process, there's nothing but wins on that other side.
Absolutely. And I want to just one little sentence add there. We went through the fire and we're still going through the fire. We're
Absolutely.
just better at going through the fire
Exactly,
now.
right? Yeah.
And these are the things that are helping
Yeah.
us.
Yeah.
There's still things that go wrong and
Mhm.
south every day. And blah. We're just better at dealing
Yeah.
with them now. Sorry for that. But
No, you're good because but that's the truth. You know what I mean? Is what people perceive as perfection, perceive as beauty, perceive as, oh, once I get there, I'll be
Mhm.
fine. It's just a mindset. When people say, oh, I'm not getting up at 6 o'clock in the morning because that's too early and I'm tired, or oh, I'm not going to go outside running, it's too hot or it's too cold. It's mental.
Yep.
Like, I had a coach used to tell me that, like, hey, you don't feel that. Like, that pain, you don't really feel that. That's you telling yourself a reason to give up. You're
Mhm.
giving yourself an excuse to quit.
Right.
Is, hey, well, this hurts or this hurts. Look, it's going to hurt. You think the most gifted athletes, the Kobe Bryants of the world. I mean, you remember the games where he's sitting there taped up, dude, taped up.
Dog. He's a dog,
You
man.
know what I mean? Like, and people will say, "Oh, well, like, he's different." No, it's a mindset thing. He has aches.
Mhm.
They have ache. Like, everyone goes through something. But once you shift that internally, it's a whole new chapter for you.
It really
It
is.
changes everything that you have going on. So what you perceive as rich or what you perceive as better than what you currently have, it's just a mindset change. And once you get to that point, people will say the same thing about you.
Absolutely. And what do you think stops people from being able to celebrate these small wins every day?
I think classism.
Okay, explain.
Uh, so one example would be the military, right?
Mhm.
Is that there's 1% of the nation joins the armed forces, right?
That's a
And
really?
that was the statistic they gave us. Now, sometimes the military might give you outdated information.
Well, I mean, I don't know. I mean,
It's a
that would be like 3 million people, three point
yeah,
something million.
yeah, so it's a yeah, I don't even think it's that many, that's the crazy part.
Well, that join and leave. I mean, but
Yeah, just
I
like over a time, right?
still
There's
kind
just
of
a
blew my mind though.
yeah, there's a common number, right? But it's a very, very low amount of
Yeah.
people, right? So you're already joining an elite class, right? And then you get there and it's like, hey, I'm happy. For my example, being a soldier, you get up every morning, you say the soldier's creed, you sing the army song in training, but they make you proud to be a soldier or
Hmm.
earn the right to potentially become call yourself a soldier. But then you get out, then it's like, hey, but you're not a soldier if you're not doing this. Oh, you're doing this. Oh, you're not a soldier. And then it's like this whole build up to things to where you stop realizing that, hey, I went through training that most of the world would never go through.
Hmm.
I've done things that most people would never go through. Now, this is a working formula outside of the military, but people start to base things off of, oh, you're not a real such and such. If you haven't done this, you're not a real,
You wasn't in Nam.
you know what I mean? You're not a real truck driver if you're not driving 30 days out the month. People will make it to the point to where you don't want to celebrate your wins because when you celebrate them outwardly, people almost always come around and they bring this classism effect to kind of bring you down. And this is where you start to learn to block out the noise.
Hmm.
Is that's what I learned is that I'm never going to please the crowd. No, I was not an airborne ranger in the army. You know what I mean? I was in a med unit. I did truck driving. I did that for 6 years, and I got out. But guess what? In all that classism of, oh, you're not this to this to this, those all come with their own issues.
Hmm.
People are my age or younger, can barely walk now, can't do certain things, have PTSD, all these issues to where people want to make you feel like you're not good if you don't live up to their standards when their standards come with a whole list of problems that you may not even need to have
Right.
to be successful. So that's one way that I look at it as a classism. Is there a different way that you're looking at it as far as like how why people don't celebrate those
No,
wins?
I really like what I really like what you said. As far as being afraid to celebrate, or the way that you would look in front of other people, and
Yeah,
I completely agree with that. It feels like I feel like now, with social media and things like that, people look at it as you're either trying to brag or
yeah,
you're too proud or
mhm,
something like that. And so 100% agreed with that. I think again it's a mental battle,
it
and
is.
and it's like in one way or another we're finding ways in our head to either block out the things that that we should celebrate purposely
Mhm,
because we feel like we shouldn't do that, or we're blocking or we just have these things tuned out in general because
mhm,
we're just not in tune with them,
yeah,
right? Again, I'll always use the example of oxygen.
mhm,
If you fall into a lake and you're falling into the water, you're going down.
yeah,
There has never been anything more important in your life to you than oxygen. And the moment you get that, when
most
you
precious
become
thing in the world.
it's the most precious thing in the world, you're
Yeah,
so grateful for it.
mhm,
And those and in those times too, you'll make promises to God, if I can get
yeah,
out of here
yeah,
and all
yeah.
this other stuff,
There's
what I
nothing you
mean?
wouldn't do, right?
Right. But it's because you've brought it to your attention.
Mhm,
Now it's been brought to your attention, however you ended up
yeah, yeah,
in the water, but it's been brought to your attention that this is something that means a lot to you. Now, oxygen is something that we all humans share, that it means literally our lives to us,
yeah,
but it could be your spouse, it could be your mom, it could be your colleague at work that is the person that helps keep you sane, or is
oh,
a
definitely,
you know what I mean? Like,
yeah,
or it could be your pet, it could be your bicycle. You like to go on 30-mile bikes or
mhm,
whatever it may be. It
yeah,
could be your golf clubs, it could be opportunities, it could be events, it could
yeah,
be occasions, it could be experiences.
yes.
It can literally be
Whatever it is you decide to make it.
whatever it is that you want to be grateful
And
for.
that's the perfect way with this process here. And this what we're trying to, paint here is that there is no right or wrong way,
Yeah.
outside of, moral and ethical, aspects. But like as far as internally to make you feel better and see the worth of who you really are, you're already, royalty. You're already somebody.
Hmm.
There's nobody walking around here saying that I'm a nobody, and it means, and it's the truth, you're somebody already. We just want you to see it. And there's no just, oh, well, I have to do it this way, or I'm not, getting this done, or I have to be like this person. I gotta follow, this person's crazy routine in order to feel like you can be whoever you are if it makes sense to you and it keeps you motivated, it keeps you disciplined, and keep you moving.
Mhm.
And that's the way you can say, hey, like this works for me.
Yeah.
And that's why these things are successes because people not only have found their own ways to do things, they've been able to celebrate it outwardly to where people are like, hey, let me get some of that.
Yep.
You got some good energy? Let me get some of that.
Yeah.
You know,
No.
you know,
Just
you
kidding.
know what I mean? But see that, and that was one of the things that, again, like with us, is that energy translates.
Yeah.
Is that where you were, the way you showed yourself, with the real estate, is that it showed you in such a good light, not perfect, very genuine, very open, very transparent. I want to get there.
Yeah.
I'm not happy where I'm at. I'm very appreciative of where I'm at. I know that it could be a lot worse, but I'm working to scale up. So let me get around that energy. Let me find a way to do that. And in the way we did it wasn't necessarily the way that most people would. Some people would, go find jobs, go do all these other things. Thankfully we were in a situation where, hey, we could just kind of pack up and go.
Mhm.
But that still comes with a whole list of things.
Yep.
But at the same time, before we start complaining, like, oh, this is annoying. Hey, remember those days where, we had a $20 date because, we couldn't do anything? We didn't have the money to do so. And then when we were having those $20 dates, hey, it's just nice to be out, right?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's always that perspective shift. And now that here we are, we could do date night whenever. Hey, let's just be happy to sit in the house tonight
Mhm.
and relax. Let's celebrate every win that we have these crazy kids running around, doing their thing. Like it is beautiful to change that perspective because once all of that is gone, it's a very scary feeling.
Absolutely. What a I love the post when people say what a blessing it is to be tired from the work that you asked for. What a blessing
Yeah.
it is to have dirty dishes
Mhm.
to clean up after your kids
Absolutely.
because you have your kids
Yeah.
and they're healthy. Man, bro. Um my cousin, she is 2 or 3 years younger than I am. Uh, one of the most beautiful souls that I've ever met. One of the most God-loving, God-fearing
Mhm.
individuals in this world,
Mhm.
you know. And she just recently, I don't know if I think I told you about this, but just recently she couldn't have children herself. So they had to do surrogate or adoption, these
Mhm.
other options. They chose to go with the adoption like of a baby, like the baby just was born type of
Born, yeah.
situation. And she started that process a year ago. Um after finally realizing that, okay,
Yeah.
this is where we have to go.
Yeah.
And she did all of this stuff, man. They had to do, like, they come to your house and all these other things, and they check you finances. She had to make this video, an introduction video for
Yeah.
the potential family, or birth mother or whatever. And it was just this exciting moment for her. And a year goes by and nothing happens. She has to renew all her paperwork for this and all this stuff. And as she gets that done, like a day or two later, they get the phone call and they gotta hurry up to the hospital.
Oh, man.
And would you have it? Would you believe it, bro? That this baby was born. She was born a little early. So
Mhm.
I had to spend some time in the NICU.
Mhm.
The mother immediately gave her gave her off. They get 3 days to change their mind.
Mhm.
No hesitation, no anything.
Mhm.
They didn't have to go through the potential despair of
Yeah,
going.
like, I'm not sure, I felt one way, I'm not sure if I still feel that way.
Absolutely,
Yeah,
bro.
yeah.
Absolutely. And I have and I have a few things to unpack from that. For one, um, seeing them celebrate that
Yeah, that's
was
amazing. Yeah,
it's
that's a
a-
beautiful feeling.
it's amazing. It's amazing, while also in the same year, we lost our nephew, a 3-month-old nephew, a few months ago. So also watching my youngest brother just go through what he's gone through, and his girlfriend, and seeing them now too. I mean, I'm so proud of them
Yeah.
but so seeing those things, it was such a beautiful celebration. But I would always think of her prior to this happening, because I would think about her sometimes on days where I would get upset with my son,
Mm.
or
Oh, yeah.
and I would just think of, like, how grateful I am for both, for in especially this year, bro. In both of those scenarios that I just gave you, how grateful I am to have my children, while my brother didn't even get the chance to raise his. didn't even get the chance to become the father that he wanted to, like all of these things, bro. And then I have a cousin who she can't have one.
Yeah,
She can't have one. And I had two
yeah,
that were unplanned.
yeah,
You know what I mean?
yeah, yeah.
And
Put you in
it's
perspective.
it really does. It really does. You
Mhm.
know, I didn't plan for them. Love my children to
Oh yeah,
death. I have
they're
I have three. I have a bonus one.
yeah, yeah. They're
Uh,
amazing. They're all amazing.
but I didn't even plan for them, and I was given that, and now I get the opportunity to be a father, and which is the most amazing thing in the world.
Mm.
And other people don't get that opportunity,
It's
bro.
crazy.
You know, other people don't, for many other reasons, don't get that opportunity. And so, even today I walked out, and as I get good news about one son,
Yeah,
the other one comes home with his second day in a row of yellow stickers, the 4-year-old in pre-K.
yeah, yeah.
But even as I'm like, see, he was he fell asleep on the way home. That's what he does now when he gets in
Oh yeah,
trouble.
he's like, I'm just tired.
Yeah. And listen, I feel it because that's what I used to do.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. When you know something's happening, like, oh, let me just sleep this off,
Ain't
man.
never been sleeping.
Yeah,
You think you're gonna like
yeah,
delay it, but all
yeah,
you're
yeah,
doing it is
yeah.
taking a nap
Just get it out of
before.
the way, bro. Just get out of the way. You're pre gaming right now.
But even then, bro, as I'm looking at him, and he is like, he knows he's in trouble, and I'm just still looking at, like, man, I'm still so grateful.
Yeah,
I he is this isn't what it was when we first started school a few weeks ago, where he was sick and
yeah.
all, bro. Remember,
That was very tough.
that
Yeah,
was tough. That was a lot of days of him getting sick with COVID and the flu in 1 month. It was insane. So it's like, I'm grateful that this is the problem.
yeah, yeah,
We can fix
yeah.
this.
He's healthy. You know
Yeah,
what I
he
mean?
got a little yellow sticker at
Yeah,
school. We could fix this.
yeah,
Like, it's not
yeah,
the end of the world. I'm not gonna treat him like it's the end of the world.
yeah,
You know what I mean? So for me, those things really, really, and I have a question written down here, but those things really, really
yeah.
give me perspective on how important it is to be able to celebrate wins,
Mm,
but also the things that keep us from celebrating wins. It's us.
yeah,
It's us.
it is.
If you want to have a life that it just feels like you're a winner,
Mm-hmm.
celebrate
Celebrate it.
those wins.
Celebrate it.
So I have a random question for you.
So,
If you're enjoying this episode, then you should send it to a friend that you feel like could really benefit from hearing this message here today.
absolutely. I mean, like, we send it to our friends, they send it to their friends, they send it to their friends' friends. Next thing you know, everybody's watching Today's a Great Day and having
Everybody.
a great day.
Everybody. So if the friend sends to the friend and the friend sends to the friend, then does that mean that by the time the friend sends to the friend, I'm gonna be the friend?
It might come back to us. It might come back
Yeah.
to us.
Let's try it, guys. Send it to a friend. We'll see if it ends up back to us. Now let's get back to the action.
Let's get back to it.
What's one win or an example of a win, a small one, that ended up meaning more than you expected it to?
I think and this will be multiple instances, but I understand it now, right? Is I used to call it the blessing of misfortune. Is that I was never the guy that was like, I won anything, like first go. It was always a few chances over and over, or, maybe I walked away from some things that, just took too hard or took too much and I thought it was too hard to do. But it was the delayed gratification.
Okay.
So the reason why I say that is that once I started winning, I was so happy from coming from where I come from to be like, man, I really appreciate this. That sacrifice of like having to kind of like thug it out, you
Mm-hmm.
know what I mean? Of being like, hey, like, wins don't always come this way, and I'm okay with that. Once I actually started moving forward is when I felt like, and once this started happening, it was just like, oh, that's what that was for. Now I appreciate everything that comes my way. You know what I mean? Even if it's just someone saying, "Hey, have a great day," because you've been around people that may not, even want to give you that sometimes. So I would say that delayed gratification of, not necessarily constant rejection, but just redirection of like, "Hey, not right now,
Mm-hmm.
not right now." Stand fast, stand fast. Those sacrifices of being like, "Hey, I'm going to keep pushing, even though I've been told no." Man, it set me up for such a good trajectory now
And what's
because
like a good example of that? Like, where you were in a scenario where you feel like you were like, man, like, some you had just a small victory. Like,
Mhm,
it could have been a day you kept your attitude right, and then that led to you having a good week, and all of a sudden the business turned around.
mhm,
But something that was just tiny, tiny. And I asked this question for a reason, because in knowing what those situations
mhm.
look like in our lifetime, we're
Yeah,
able to always ground ourselves in
mhm,
like, hey, this, like, for random
yeah,
bamboo.
mhm,
It takes 5 years underground to create its root systems,
really.
and then in 9 weeks, it can grow to meters tall in like 9 weeks. But it takes 5 years
Yeah,
for that for it to have all of its roots down. So you won't even see
mhm,
it, right?
yeah,
And then all of a sudden, boom. So what was that one planting one bamboo seed
mhm.
that was so tiny, it was nothing, and then all of a sudden,
You know what? Really good point, right? So this actually was a 12-year, I'd say about a 12-year process, right?
okay,
So when I was like in like kindergarten to first grade, I was always that kid that just like really felt for everybody, the empath, like we talked about this before.
yeah.
And
And
it was
that
just
that matches your personality.
yeah. So
Yeah.
there's this really just like really sweet kid, right? Like just quiet, just never talked, just didn't, just was that kid that just never went out of his way,
Hmm.
but just you knew he was a good person. And so I remember I would just, talk to him like every day, and then as kids leave for the day, give high fives, give hugs, whatever. And I would always give this kid a high five or a hug. And, fast forward years later, right? Completely forgot about this kid, moved on with my life. And then we get to high school.
You told me this story. I love
Yeah.
it.
And so get to high school, and then not much has changed in my personality. I'm still just like trying to be everybody's friend.
Hmm.
We get to I'm just gonna say math. I'm not sure which class it was. And then this kid comes up and he's
It's
like, "Hey,
palms.
yeah, palms, yeah, boys palms." Tell you what, he was not doing boys palms. I'll tell you that. He's a good guy, but he was not that much out of his shell. But still relatively the same, right? He's like, "Hey, do you remember me?" I'm like, I think so." And he's like, "Yeah, we went to the same elementary school." I was like, "Oh yeah," I'm like, "Yeah, I remember you." And then funny enough, his mom worked at the school.
Hmm.
And then funny enough, she works at the high school that we're going to now.
Okay.
So I see her and immediately remember her. And I'm like, wow, she has an age of day. So she's like, hey, how's it going? Have you seen Tyler? I'm like, no, I haven't. And then I'm like, wait, no, I did. And then so I come out, dude, man, I haven't seen you in forever. Like, just, dapped up, gave him a hug, whatever. And then this is freshman year. So every year, just always see him, just talk to him, just make sure he felt included. Hey, man, you can come sit over here if you want to sit with us. And, just overall, just trying to be a decent person, not for any particular reason. And then senior year comes, and it's the end of the school year, so
Hmm.
everyone's like getting sad and whatever. And
Sad.
yeah,
I was happy as
yeah, I was
hell.
oh, I was at man, I had senioritis so bad, bro. I would wake up at like 9 o'clock, miss school like completely in the morning. But, he comes up and he's like, "Hey, man, like, would you mind, like, signing, my yearbook?" Or he's like, "Would you mind signing my yearbook and I'll sign yours?" I'm like, "Cool." And I signed his yearbook, like, "Hey, man, hope you have a great one." Put my number in there, just like, "Hey, man, make sure we keep in touch."
Hmm.
And then he wrote in mine. I didn't read it until he left. And then I opened up and he was like, "Thank you for being my best friend all these years." And like, like when I tell you, like, bro, even now it kind of chokes me up because it's like, I didn't even realize that that's what he looked at me as all of these years later of us being best friends because all I did was just try to, be a good person to him. But it planted those seeds to where I did started noticing as the years went on in high school, he was more social. He did talk to people. He got a girlfriend, you know what I mean, like halfway through school, and they were a beautiful couple. And like just all these great things. And it was just like, wow. Not saying that I'm taking credit for any of that,
But you should. You
but
should, because that's important,
yeah,
bro.
absolutely.
That's important. You might have kept somebody from going crazy. Who knows?
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
it wasn't about you.
Yeah.
It was about being good to him,
Yeah.
and in being good to him, you had an impact that was
It was
huge.
huge. It was huge.
Huge.
And to me, it was so minuscule because the way my mom raised us was just you're going to be a good person. You
Mhm.
have no other option. Now, whether you're a great scholar, I mean, that's up to the work that you put in. Whether you're, a great athlete, it's up to the work you put in. But you're going to be a good person
Mhm.
because you owe the world that. You at least owe the world to be a good, positive influence. And just trying to be just a good person, nothing out of it, but just to see how he was able to take that and enjoy, his life and, and now sprout from there.
Mhm,
And just to see that one small seed by being a decent person to him was great. That was probably to me, I think to this day, probably my best win,
mhm.
ever just to see like, man, 12 years. Didn't realize it. But good dude to this day, man. Tyler, if you're watching this, man, like
What's up, Tyler?
I'm proud of you, brother. Proud of you. So that was mine. What about you? Is there anything that like rings out for you?
No, absolutely. I think for me, I go back to the year 2018, and it was I had this little thing. Hashtags were still kind of popular then, so my hashtag that I kind of had for myself that year for my team at work and stuff like
Mhm.
that was hashtag 2018 positive vibes only.
Ah, I like that.
And I'm gonna tell you, like the positive vibes they didn't just like come because of my hashtag.
Yeah.
And by the hashtag, like I would write this on the walls at
Mhm,
work and stuff like that. I would
mhm.
talk about people. I would talk about this to my colleagues. I would post this on my posts and things like that. But that that was a small win that I would give myself every single day.
Mhm.
Was hey, positive vibes only. Was every day positive? No.
Yeah.
Was every day great? No.
Mhm,
Was everything just incredibly amazing? No.
mhm,
But that single move,
mhm,
that one move
mhm.
has led to me being in this chair today and
Ah,
talking about the things that I love to talk about, that you
mhm.
love to talk about. That has led to my life changing. That has led to me being in touch with my spirituality. That has led to me reading books. That has led to me finding my purpose in life. That has led to me. It led to me finding my spouse. It led to me having another child. All of
Yeah.
these. It led to me moving to the other side of the state. It
Mhm,
led to it led to so many things.
mhm,
That one little change, that
mhm.
one little thing of championing that and not forgetting that this meant something to me, right? Not letting it go. We like to start things and not finish them,
Yeah,
you
yeah.
know. And but anyway, so
No,
that
no, you're good, yeah.
man, that to me, that really changed my life. And it was cool because like at the time people looked at it, they kind of chuckled at it,
Yeah.
they
Yeah, I didn't see it, yeah.
they didn't see it, and that's okay. It wasn't
Yeah.
their vision, it was my
Mhm,
vision,
yeah.
but in being able to champion that, it led to it was 2018 positive vibes only. The word vibes was used specifically because at the time I knew nothing about energy or nothing like
Mm,
that. But also because at the time I felt like I was more so leaning towards like an atheist side of things,
mhm.
where I just, for my own personal
Yeah,
reasons, really
understandable.
question God and things like
Yeah.
that. So it was very kind of like, agnostic, I guess you could say, or no, not, but more on the like, hey, I don't want this to be anything that has to do with God.
Religion. Yeah, 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 yeah. Just trying to figure out yourself. That
Right.
makes sense.
Just and it was like at the time, I feel like the law of manifestation, things like that, law of attraction, all of
Mhm.
this stuff was like really popular. So I kind of
Yeah, yeah, very sensationalized,
yeah.
absolutely.
So I kind of clung on to that,
Yeah.
and then that led to thinking differently. It led to moving. It led to starting to search, for answers to deeper questions.
Mhm,
It was kind of like that. I feel like we all go through a point in life where we get the opportunity to really turn our lives around. And it was kind of that point. So that little victory,
mm.
bro, literally has led to my life just being completely.
Which I'll attest to in that aspect too, because everyone that I've met through you, from the team, to our neighbors, everybody positive vibes. I have not met and, people are gonna be people.
Yeah.
So and I would never hold it against you if I met someone and they're like, "Oh, this guy is a"
Thank God.
but everybody has shared the same sentiment. Everybody, and this is the good part about finding, getting out of your comfort zone and taking those risks is that everybody around wants the best for themselves. They want to be great. I got a text message from Ken yesterday, like, "Hey man, you guys are killing it, man. I'm super happy for you."
That's what's up,
You know
bro.
what I mean? But just
Ken's
the
such a good
oh
dude,
man, he's
bro.
a awesome,
Ken, if
awesome
you're
dude.
watching this, don't let this blow your head up any. But
I think we've given him props in like a couple episodes too, so it's
he,
getting there. It's getting
I'm
there.
so he actually we did our first agent of the month today, and he
Yeah.
got he
You
got
got
the
agent
agent of the
what?
month.
Oh
Man,
shit.
he is just like he's so about it. Like he's
Yes.
so about what we're trying to like.
Yes.
You know what I mean? He's
Yes.
so positive. He's a leader.
Yes.
He's
great father, great husband,
Yeah,
great person to be around. Like
yeah,
everybody, the entire family. Michelle, you too. I know Michelle kills me.
absolutely.
Michelle, Michelle,
I don't know about Michelle.
Michelle is.
She's gonna
You
strangle
know what?
me if
I
she
tell you
sees
what.
this.
You guys, whenever you guys meet Michelle, she is one of the funniest people in
She's
real life. Like
right
just,
now. She's my funniest female
oh
friend.
my gosh, dude, she is hilarious. Like it is amazing to sit down and like it's like really hard to like not have a good time when she's around. Even if like she like maybe like, just like, oh, I'm tired,
Yep.
like she's about to have they're about to welcome their child. But it's like even like the I'm like tired, like angry
Everything
moment thing,
about her.
it's hilarious.
She wears her emotions on her
Oh
face.
my
So you'll be talking to Michelle and she doesn't like what you're saying, and she'll be like,
God.
"But you guys are pissing me off."
Exactly. Yeah, no, it's amazing.
But she does like she will. It's like it's also she does it all in a way where it's like that's who
You
she
can't
is.
hate her.
You can't like
You can't hate her.
it's who she is.
But
Anyway. So you guys
but
got
yeah, but like the positive energy is all there. Everybody's their own individual and they have their own personalities. But the energy that you're able to bring and that you attract and that you allow to be around you has just completely exploded. Everybody you meet are great people. Everybody that you bring that I've met around you are great people. And those are the good things because if you didn't make those sacrifices in 2018 and say, hey, positive vibes only.
Mhm.
That's a sacrifice to do that every day. That's
Yeah.
a discipline that you got to go out and do, and very small. But if you look at it in the grand scheme of things, there is no this.
Yeah.
There is no today's a great day.
Yep.
There is no YouTube, and there is no hey, me and my family are now moving. People that he didn't know in 2018, but like this all positively impacted my decision making to say, hey, I'm going to uproot my family. We're going to go where these guys are because they got some good vibes over there.
We got some motion.
They got some motion going on. This is where I want my kids around. I want my kids around good people with like-minded things. So those energy shifts are really, really amazing. And in that sense, too, I have this question for you. So if you were, let's say we're going back to, let's say if this is 2018 or even, during COVID, what point, like, where do you feel like you would be right now if you didn't make those sacrifices? Do you still think that you would be here in some aspect? Or do you think there's a whole like alternate universe Joe Mar that we might be sitting here with
I
today?
do. I do actually. That's exactly what I think it is.
Mhm,
I heard this saying one time that said that unless you make a drastic change in your life, which we all have to, unless you let me take this back.
mhm,
If you don't find your actual real purpose
mhm,
for why you're supposed to live in this lifetime, then you end up like most people, which is they live the same 6 months of their lives the rest of their lives. So there comes a period in your life where the choices that you make, the people that you're surrounded with, the things that you do, that period of your life becomes a defining moment, and it either makes you or breaks you. And if you allow that moment to break you, then you will continue to live variations of those 6 months within that time frame over and over and over and over again. But if you let that moment be the moment that you champion and makes you,
mhm,
then that's the moment where your life pivots.
mhm,
So in that, and I'll give you a good example of that. It's like, let's say somebody puts a needle in their arm for the first time, right?
yeah,
What's very likely to happen for the rest of their lives?
will be addicted.
A variation of putting a needle in their
Yeah,
arm, a
yeah,
variation of being high. And now it intensifies, that variation intensifies over time,
mm,
because then you'll end up homeless, then you'll end up with nothing, then you'll end up, with diseases or whatever, you know what I mean? But you're living a variation of those same
mhm,
6 months over and over and
mhm.
over again. So I do think that I would be living a variation of those 6 months. I would be
Gotcha.
potentially doing the same job because it makes me money, not
Yeah.
because I love it, not because I'm passionate about it, but just because it makes me money.
Mhm,
I would potentially still be a person that is able to. I was able to back then on the flip of a switch, just be a completely different person, like
gotcha.
bipolar.
Yeah.
Not that I wasn't bipolar, but I had that capability of
Yeah,
like
just being able to yeah,
as much as positive and happy and stuff like that as you see me now. Like I had the opposite of that
yeah,
back then because there wasn't peace in my life, there wasn't
mhm,
this fulfillment, there wasn't purpose, like all of
yeah,
these things were lacking in my life.
mm,
you know I was a good example of someone who like in high school had everything that all the other high schoolers would look at.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? Like the football player, baseball player, basketball. I was the
Yeah.
salutatorian of my
Oh,
class.
wow.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
I prom king, all of these other things,
Mhm,
and then I took that into my 20s and I was that person, bro. And like
mhm.
it sucks looking back
Yeah.
and admitting it, but when they say, oh, he peaked in high school, if I would have not made the change, so to finalize
No, no, you're
my
fine, you're fine.
answer, if I would have not made the changes, then I
Mhm.
would have been that dude that peaked in high school.
And see, that's a very solid analogy, and I like the way you were able to bring that around in different aspects of your life because a lot of people don't think about that, is that those small changes, again, a very small change,
Mhm.
you know, if it's your hashtag, if you have a hashtag, I mean, we're still using these in 2025. If you have a hashtag for yourself, put it in the comments. Figure out what it is for you because of that small change that you make today. Or, we're not perfect. So let's not say, let's start making it tomorrow. Let's start making it on Monday, but let's make it soon. That you make that small change, then you start to see the other side of success.
Absolutely.
Because high school for you, amazing,
Yeah.
great time. But there's no reason why what's already happened to has to be the best thing that's ever happened to you in your life.
Oh yeah, yeah. 100%.
When we're looking back on good memories, those are great, but those aren't the best memories that we have to live on. When you talk about high school, that's great. But then we talk about Switzerland next year. We talk about travel blog. We talk about the car cast, like all these different things that we have to look forward to. It's because you made those small changes to say, hey, I'm going to invest into the long term,
Mhm.
you know?
100%.
So then you have that worldly experience instead of just that area. I can tell you everything it is to be about a high school athlete, but I can't tell you anything about adulthood because I never transitioned into that area. It's crazy.
Yeah.
It's absolutely crazy.
Use the hashtag today's a great day, by the way, guys. That's it's so cool because like small things they change your life. Like for us, our podcast name is Today's a Great Day.
It's an amazing name.
We have to now, we are forced to make an effort to make
Hmm.
sure that we find the greatness in every day
Hmm.
because we decided to name our podcast Today's a Great Day.
Yeah.
That put a lot of pressure on us to
Yeah.
not be like,
Yes.
we can't be negative people.
Yeah.
And I look forward to that. I look
Absolutely.
forward to I am incredibly excited to purposely waking up in the morning and saying today's a great day.
Yes.
That's so exciting, dude.
To the degree too where when I get up in my daily routine, the first thing I do is check on the podcast. I
Uh-huh.
check on the TikTok, I check on the YouTube, I check on all these things, but I have to be faced with it before I do anything else, before I wake the kids up, before I get the wife up to move around. I have to sit back and look at it. And what I'm looking at is affirmations. I'm looking
Mhm.
at manifestations. I'm looking at overall good vibes. I'm like, wow, I'm going to have an amazing day. And now since we've done this and since we've started the page every single day, I intentionally try to make it as good as possible. Look at the small things.
Yeah.
I mean, I'll just look at a cloud for 10 minutes, you know what I mean? And just enjoy it. It's like, man, this is beautiful. Because it was raining yesterday. Or, it was overcast this morning, so I didn't
Mhm.
see the sun. So now I'm seeing everything. This is perfect.
Have you seen the sunsets lately, dude?
They're amazing.
Insane,
They're
insane.
amazing.
But I agree with you, man. If we can and we can champion these efforts that we make and we can look back, I don't think you are not a sum of who you were in this moment
Mm.
unless you agree to be that,
Yeah,
right? So
absolutely.
if you choose, which is what we most of us do unconsciously, the majority of our lives, is we choose to assume the identity of who we've been
Mm,
rather than who we want to be.
mm.
Okay. We're doing this podcast. We're posting videos with confidence. We're
Yeah,
posting shorts. We're posting these podcast videos where, we're investing all of this time into these things. We've started filming episodes not being ever before podcasters.
yeah.
We're talking as very imperfect people. We're talking about things to help other people.
Mhm.
Who are we to be talking about this?
Yeah,
Is what we could say,
yeah.
right?
Mhm.
And things that get into it. But if we chose to lead this podcast by assuming that we are just a collection of who we've been,
Mhm.
rather than assuming the identity of who we aspire to be,
Mm.
then this podcast would be a failure
Yes.
because
Yes.
we would talk about the things that all just we would behave like the person that
Mhm.
we used to be. We would not behave like the person that we aspire to be. We would not make the effort to try to make this as good as we
Mhm.
can, the best that we can for other people.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So don't assume today that you are who you've always been. Assume that you are who you want to be. And so, if this message today has resonated with you and you want to be someone who champions the small victories, then assume right now the identity of someone who champions small victories.
Mhm.
And if you want to champion small victories, you got to have a way to be able to track those. So, my next question for you is how could someone track on a day to day,
Mhm.
and I'm not saying an Excel spreadsheet or
Mhm.
nothing like that, but how do you track on a day to day basis that you're on the right side
Mhm.
of championing the small victories?
Your outlook,
Okay.
uh, attitude, things that you can easily dictate, right? What I think the old quote or the old fact is that it takes more muscles to frown than it does to smile. Look at those things. Like, how many times do you smile a day? Probably more than the average person,
A
right?
lot,
A lot,
a
right?
lot.
So finding little things to make you happy. It's not going out and just fake. I mean, sometimes you gotta fake it till you make it, but find things that induce
Mm,
those types of behaviors, that induce that type of reaction that, oh man, you know what? When I watch, anime, it makes me very happy.
mm,
So maybe I'll introduce a little bit more so then it just helps me like perk myself up. Just small, small things that can change you out of those perspectives that you have. It just leads you into a good area. You know what I mean? Like
mhm,
I listen to a lot of the same music every single day because it makes me happy. It puts me in a good mood. And that the days that I don't, or the days that I don't listen to it as much, I can feel it. So it's not necessarily a checklist, but it's just a hey, you're gonna go where things make you feel good. And so just find those things and just try to implement that what it gives to you. Try to just push it out there. If you can smile at one person, tell someone, "Hey, I hope you have a great day." Do that. Next thing you know, you've been saying it all day.
yeah.
And then it just starts to become part of your normal. It starts to become that everyday thing. To where it's like every time I see him, man, the dude tells me I have a great day. But it helps. It really does help. Is there
Yeah.
something in your aspect that you feel like they can
No,
implement?
I love what you're saying, and it's actually I'm gonna pull this up. So I wrote this down from and you triggered me thinking about this from Atomic Habits.
Mhm,
There's a process to creating habits, and it's an automatic
mhm,
process. And the process is there's a cue.
mhm,
So there's something that you see visually, you
mhm,
hear, whatever it may be.
mhm,
Then there's a craving
mhm,
for that thing, and then you have a response,
mhm.
and then that response, which is let's use cigarettes.
Okay.
You wake up in the morning and you see a cup of coffee, and the
Mhm,
cup of coffee makes you want to smoke a cigarette
mhm.
because that's your routine.
Yeah,
The coffee, cue.
yeah.
The craving is for the coffee.
Mhm.
The response or the craving comes from the seeing the coffee
Yeah.
for the cigarette. The response is smoke a cigarette, and
Mhm.
after smoking a cigarette, there's a reward.
Gotcha.
And so that's how we create
I like
habits.
that. I like that.
Um, and one of the things that he says is there's a system for how you can literally create the habit to be something that's automatic by tying it to other things.
Mhm.
So when you're saying like you listen to the same music
Mhm.
every single day, I'm sure you don't just listen to the music and do nothing else.
Mhm.
You listen to it maybe while you start your work day, or when do you listen to the music actually?
Typically throughout the day.
Throughout,
So,
but
like the
you're doing other things, right?
absolutely. So it's like, doing all the particulars. So like getting my brushing my teeth,
Right.
getting my kids ready, like putting all of that energy, even when I'm going, to work out.
Hmm.
Those types of things that there is a playlist or there's something that's gonna go and fuel me and to say, hey, let's have a good time with this. Let's make the most out of it.
Absolutely.
So yeah.
Absolutely. So your cue is that you love music and
Mhm.
puts you in a good mood.
Mhm.
Then then you crave it.
Mhm.
And so then the response is you put it on, and then the reward is that it makes you feel good.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so we could do the same thing, right? So
Mhm.
if you want to be able to be someone that celebrates small victories
Mhm.
often, then tie that into something else,
Mhm.
right? So whenever I celebrate something that makes me, whenever I celebrate a small victory,
Mhm.
um, I build up 5 brownie points to get me eat some brownies tonight or something like that. Boom. And now you start making it a habit,
Yeah.
right? Reward yourself.
Mhm.
You, if you have enough discipline,
Yeah.
you can make the things that you love a reward.
Yes.
Like if you
Absolutely.
hear me out here, I love to play golf.
Mhm.
And sometimes I play it randomly, but sometimes I'll say to myself at the beginning of the day, I'll play around a golf today if I get all of these things done.
Ah, gotcha.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm gonna play that round of golf
Oh,
that
yeah.
day.
Yeah.
I was gonna play it anyway,
Yeah.
but
And
now
now
go ahead.
it feels even better because you've earned it in some sense. Yeah.
Exactly. So if you have discipline, you can turn the things that you love to do and the things that you like, you can turn them into rewards.
Awesome.
You love sushi?
Mhm.
Okay, well this week if I do this, this, and that,
Mhm.
I'll have and then it also removes guilt.
Mhm.
It also removes guilt because you earned it, and you deserved it, and you showed yourself that,
Mhm.
you know? So and then also, and I'll give you guys a few little tips. I wrote this down, and if you want me to share this with you, I can.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
For the cue, for when you want to make a when you want to create these habits for the cue, make make the cue obvious. So if in the morning you want to start exercising, then put your exercise clothes the night before
Mhm.
next to your toothbrush,
Gotcha.
right? It's right there.
Yeah.
So make it obvious. For the craving, make it attractive.
Mhm.
Okay? You don't have to exercise the way everybody else
Yeah. Yeah.
exercises.
Have fun with it.
There's women on TikTok jumping on trampolines to loud music.
Yeah. They're having a good time, but they're
Having
having
a
a great
blast.
time. Yeah.
They said women will do anything except pick up some weights.
They will. They will. I tell you what, they will.
Ladies,
Absolutely.
love y'all, but
Yeah. Hey, whatever makes a jam for them, right?
whatever floats your
Yeah,
boat.
whatever makes it work for them.
Then the response, so again, you don't have to exercise the same way everybody else does.
Yeah.
Make it attractive, make it
Mhm.
something that you want to do. You want to go ride a bicycle for a
Mhm.
couple hours? Do you want to go play pickleball, which is a thing
Yeah.
nowadays? Did you know that they say on average people who play racket sports
Mm.
live 7 years longer than people who don't,
Mm.
on
We were
average?
talking about going to play pickle.
Yeah, yeah, we got to get out there. We
We
got to
do.
get out there.
Absolutely.
So make it attractive, right? Like for
Yeah.
us, maybe our exercising is going to come partly in the form of playing pickleball.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
know what I mean? And then the next thing is the reward, make it satisfying, right? So you start to naturally or like if you do start to work out, maybe to make it satisfying, you say at the end of the week, I'm going to treat myself,
Yeah.
right? Or whatever it may be. But
Mhm.
eventually the satisfaction starts to come from the
Just the
action
actual.
itself,
Yeah.
because eventually you start to actually see the results that are coming from
I
these
got you.
things.
This is making a lot of sense. And it's weird because a lot of us don't realize that we actually, just like you said, with a cigarette and a coffee, we do it internally already. We're not
100%.
asking you to do a new system.
Always.
We're just asking you to refine it.
That is that is literally it.
Yeah.
That is literally it. Just do what you're already doing, consciously
Mhm.
use it to your benefit, because we're always doing these things.
Mhm.
Always, always. Every habit that we have is triggered by something.
Mm.
My habit of brushing my teeth is triggered by waking up.
Yeah.
If I wake up, I'm brushing my teeth.
Have to do it. You know what I mean? Like it just there's no what am I trying to say here? Negotiation.
No,
You
exactly,
just have to.
exactly. You have to, and that's just one example,
Yeah.
right? Yours could be, when you before you go to bed, you brush it, whatever it
Yeah.
is. But everything is triggered by something. The law of cause and effect. Every action has a consequent,
Mhm.
effect that comes from it.
Mhm.
So use these things to your favor. Line yourself up and put yourself in a position where you can start being better at it simply because you repeat it so much.
Mhm.
Going back to earlier, the Kobe Bryants and the LeBron James and the Tiger Woods and
Yeah.
all these other people, there are other athletes that could do what they can do,
Mhm.
but they just haven't done it as much.
Mhm.
That is it.
Yeah.
Kobe Bryant used to show up to the gym around what time? Have you ever seen like the stories about this?
I've heard so many amazing stories about
Bro,
it.
Kobe Bryant used to show up to the gym at 4 a.m.
Damn.
By the time the team got there, he had had 2 full practice sessions. by the time people started showing up at 8, 9 a.m.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Why is his name synonymous with a shot?
Yeah.
Kobe?
Yeah. Very true.
Because he did it so much.
Stay consistent.
He stayed consistent. Stayed consistent. Man.
That's amazing. But it's all true. It's all true. That's the beauty of it, is that there is no secret sauce or no like special formula that you have to do other than, like you said, do the things you're already doing subconsciously, but just put him in a positive standpoint.
Mhm.
That's it. That's it.
Absolutely.
That's what's separating you in the life that you want to get to, the mindset you want to get to, the people you want to be around, is just changing those negative influences and turn them into positive.
100%. Let the viewer know, what is one thing that we want to celebrate today in regards to our podcast?
Uh, I would say the interaction.
Okay.
We've had people, again, people that otherwise we have never met before, interacting with us, commenting, thanking us, doing all these good things. I am happy that we were able to create something that had no intention on, we're not focused on getting to a certain number or getting to whatever, but just positively impact people. And today we were able to sit back 4 days after launching and then talk to people about positive impacts, reaffirming conversation pieces, even some debates. But we were able to interact with people the way that we had it laid out. So I'm
So
very
fire.
thankful for that.
It's so fire.
Very thankful. What about you?
You championing you today,
Awesome.
because you sat through this conversation, hopefully because of the things that are being said, maybe because you like us,
Yeah,
or
yeah. Hopefully
but
so. We like you.
yeah, we like you too.
Yeah.
But you sat through this because, just like us, you're going on this journey of trying to become a better version of yourself.
Mhm.
And I'm grateful for that. And I think it's so cool that we get the opportunity to be able to sit down and do this and impact other people and
Absolutely.
help other people.
Yeah.
And it might be just you, literally just you, that makes it to the end of this video.
Yeah.
And that's a win.
Yeah.
And that's a win. And even if no one makes it to the end, enough people started it. And
Absolutely.
that's a win.
We're
And
happy for that.
and we're happy for that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Man, I don't know if we're gonna make this a routine or what, but you wanna sign them out?
Sign out. Hey guys, the one thing we wanted to let you guys know today is just the idea of sacrifice, of investing into yourself, building into what you want to do, and that it's possible. There's a quote that says that the extra mile is where the traffic dies down. And that is very true. Whatever you decide to invest into today, it's going to give you a long term effect in the future, whether that's positive or negative. But we're here to show you that positivity is 100% attainable. Happiness, the people that you want to associate yourself with, the life that you want is all attainable. So let's start working today. Let's start pushing ourselves. Let's start celebrating one another, and we're going to get there. Happy for you. We're thankful for you. We love you. We can't wait to see you in episode 9. Thank you. Today's a great day.
Today is a great day, and we're gonna celebrate that.
Absolutely.